In Nepal, a Sherpa guide has been rescued from Mount Everest after surviving a week atop the world's highest mountain without food or supplemental oxygen. The 52-year-old was returning with a Polish climber after failing to reach the summit when he went missing. The climber returned to base camp, and it's not clear how they got separated. They were among the last climbers on Everest this season. That season ended last month. Crews discovered the Sherpa as they were cleaning up for next season. His family says he's doing well and undergoing treatment for frostbite and other complications. Well, let's turn to someone who climbed Mount Everest just last month. Philip Collins joins us now live from Shannon, Quebec. Philip, thanks for connecting with us. And let's start by hearing from you. Put this story into perspective for us.
Good evening, Ian. Thanks for having me. This story is really a crazy one. I think it's one of the greatest survival stories of Everest, if not the greatest of all time. It's incredible how the Sherpa survived, and we're all delighted that he did survive, Hilary Dawa. It's really incredible.
So describe the conditions that you were up against as you climbed the mountain.
Well, the conditions we had were not favorable at all times. We had inclement weather. We got stuck in some storms a couple of times also. On summit night, especially, it was a big deal. We had a 17-hour push that was up and down, and temperatures range from, I don't know exactly, but between -30 to -40 for the summit day and summit night. So it was really quite difficult. But luckily, we avoided the crowds. We had about between 80 to 85 summits that day. And because our team picked the right day, the 18th of May, we were extremely lucky, because the next day, whenever we were coming down, 400 people were coming up. So we had to go around every single one of them, which was quite difficult.
Tell us about the role that your Sherpa played and that Sherpas play generally on that mountain.
My Sherpa and all the Sherpas are the unsung heroes of Everest. They really are amazing people. The role that my personal Sherpa made was he was my personal Sherpa on summit day, so he accompanied me from start to finish on the summit day. He also carried oxygen in his backpack for himself and for myself, so extra oxygen. He had the responsibility of carrying it, and he also had the responsibility of looking after my oxygen. So he guided me from the very start to the very finish, and we had a couple of issues also. My crampon fell off about 50 meters from the summit. So I shouted, and luckily he ran back, and we both put it on together. And then on the very top of all the places in the whole wide world to run out of oxygen, I actually ran out of oxygen on the very top. So within 4 minutes, my Sherpa Chetan Bote, thanks to him, he swapped the bottle within 4 minutes, made sure everything was good with the regulator, the mask, and it was amazing. So I couldn't have really done it without him. And I think it's the same for everyone. Without the Sherpas, it's going to be almost an impossible task to get to the top.
So the description we've heard is that a Polish climber and a Sherpa got separated, that the Polish climber managed to get back to base camp, but the Sherpa originally didn't. Do you have any idea how that might happen?
Well, things above or around the death zone are around above 7,000 meters to 8,000 death zone. Everything is extremely difficult. It's a lot more difficult than being at sea level, for example. It's also possible because they were I think the last people on the mountain. So normally, whenever all the push is going on and all the people are there together, there's usually support available because there's many people there. But then again, people get sick, and the Sherpa he's qualified. He's been there before, and the guys were in trouble. The Polish guy. There was also another climber with them and another Sherpa, I believe, but I don't want to speculate. But as far as I last heard, he sat down on a rock to rest, and the guys had to go down because the Polish climber was suffering from frostbite, and they needed to get down for his safety. So I think that's what happened. But
And let's finish this the way we began, but maybe a bit more of your description and your perspective. A week, I guess, days that this Sherpa was on his own, considered lost, and happened to be found as people were kind of cleaning up the trail at the end of the season. I mean, what must those days have been like for this Sherpa?
I imagine incredibly scary. He must have thought that it was all over, because at that altitude, with nobody there and the weather and being completely alone, it must have been incredibly scary for him. So I guess his main task was just to get down safely. But I heard that he fell into a crevasse in the Khumbu Icefall, and an avalanche managed to fill it up slowly, and he managed to climb out and crawl down to the bottom of the Khumbu Icefall. So I can only imagine what's going through his head, but I think he has a family also, a wife and daughter, so I'm sure they were in the first thought of his mind to get back to them safely. But it was just incredible. It's an incredible story.
Yeah, well, I so much appreciate your perspective on this, and of course, we're so happy that he's out and safe, and look forward to him telling his own story. Philip Collins, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.